From an unexpected fortune hanging on someone's wall to some pretty strange revelations from the world's deepest well, plus the oldest winery ever, here are 10 incredible and unexpected discoveries. Newpterosaur. Pterosaurs were winged beasts from the age of the dinosaurs, ranging in size from as large as a fighter jet to as small as an ordinary bird. And while we have known about these flying beasts for a very long time, a team of paleontologists from the United Kingdom discovered a new species of tiny pterosaur completely unexpectedly. This new dinosaur would roughly have been the size of a turkey, but it would have looked a lot more like a modern kiwi. Scientists were incredibly surprised when they discovered the fossil. In fact, they first thought that it was part of a fish, but paleontologists from Portsmouth University and Bath University got together to study the fossil and came to the conclusion that they had discovered a piece of a beak belonging to a whole new prehistoric bird creature. The fossil was actually found in Morocco, and after researchers learned what it belonged to, more digging was done to locate additional pieces of the original fossil. Project researchers then discovered the lower jaw, which matched to the first part found. They slowly began to build an image of what the pterosaur would have looked like. Researchers believed that this newest specimen would have used its very thin beak to sift through the dirt and mud looking for prey, just like how a modern kiwi searches for worms. Tank in a swamp. Deep in the forest of Estonia, a young boy made a rather unexpected discovery when he stumbled upon an old path leading straight into a remote lake. The boy noticed immediately that the tracks in the mud did not look natural. He alerted his parents, who then told their neighbors, and soon pretty much everyone in Estonia was standing at the edge of this lake, trying to figure out what exactly was down there. As it turned out, there was a giant tank hidden inside of the water. The villagers had to bring in a bulldozer and some ropes just to yank the enormous military vehicle out of the mud. How exactly the tank got into the swamp in the first place is a bit of a mystery. Considering the tank was from World War II and in basically perfect condition, it probably got abandoned in the lake so that the Soviet enemies could not get a hold of the vehicle and use their own technology against them. The tank pulled from the lake was a Soviet T-34-76A, and back in its day, it was a deadly piece of machinery. What exactly the villagers did with the tank has never been reported. It's doubtful that the thing could run after so long underwater. Maybe they just took some selfies and then went back home. Unexpected moon water. Apparently, the moon is full of water. In October of 2020, NASA confirmed the presence of water not only on the sunlit surface of the moon, but also in a handful of shadowed places. This was a totally unexpected discovery that suggests there could be water across most of the moon's surface, hidden inside the soil where we cannot see it. This unexpected discovery is going to change our understanding of the lunar surface forever. The discovery was made by a flying observatory station inside of a Boeing 747 that flies above 99% of the Earth's atmosphere. This flying machine is known as Sophia, and researchers used her powerful instruments to detect water molecules inside one of the moon's southern craters. Obviously, there aren't rushing rivers of water, but there is a concentration of roughly 100 to 412 parts per million of water trapped inside a single cubic meter of soil. But don't get too excited, that's not good. According to NASA, the Sahara Desert has 100 times more water than what they just found on the surface of the moon. It's a pretty minuscule amount, but surprising nonetheless. Massive coral reef. This next one is a little closer to home. Scientists in 2020 discovered a giant coral reef inside of the Great Barrier Reef that is blowing people's minds. It's known as a detached coral reef, and it was discovered to be over 1,500 feet high. That's a pretty large shelf of coral. The discovery was made by Australian scientists working on the Schmidt Ocean Institute vessel, Falkor. It was also found completely unexpectedly and is the first attached reef to have been spotted in over 120 years. It was discovered using an underwater robot that live-streamed extremely high-resolution footage to the team aboard the Falkor. While you might be thinking just how boring a giant coral reef is, it's really quite exciting. It shows that even as we continue to explore the ocean, we keep finding new and unknown structures and life, because that's what this giant reef really is. It's a massive and complex ecosystem standing like a coral apartment complex far beneath the restless ocean waves. Rare penny. If you're sick of science, check out this unexpected discovery that made a boy very wealthy. The boy I'm talking about was only 16 years old when he went to school one day and found that he had a strange penny in his lunch money. It was definitely a penny, but even the kid could tell there was something off about it. As it turned out, the kid was holding in his hand a 1943 Lincoln penny. The penny that he had received in the change from his lunch money was one of only 20 copper coins that had accidentally gotten produced during the Second World War as part of a serious manufacturing error. These coins have been described as the holy grail of mint errors by Heritage Auctions. They are now the crown jewel of any coin collection in America. While only a handful of them have been legitimately identified, there are still believed to be around 10 or 15 floating in circulation somewhere. As for the boy who found one in his lunch money, that happened in Massachusetts back in 1947. He held on to it for 72 years before passing away, at which time his descendants sold it for $204,000 at Heritage Auctions. Accidental Play-Doh. Here's a fun one. If you've ever wondered where Play-Doh came from, you're about to find out. A company named Koodle Products was the largest wallpaper cleaner manufacturer on the entire planet. That was until the 1950s, when wallpaper buildup wasn't an issue anymore because coal heating was changed to oil, gas, or electricity. There was no more need to clean coal residue off people's wallpaper, and so Koodle Products didn't have much use for their products anymore. But that was when a nursery school teacher related to the owner of the company made a rather unexpected discovery. She opened up the paper one day and saw an article about how wallpaper cleaner could be used for modeling projects. This random discovery would change the face of the company forever. Rather than cleaning wallpaper with their product, they realized they could just change it and market it as a modeling compound for kids. That's when the company really started to make money. Fortune magazine has reported that Play-Doh has sold over 3 billion cans since it debuted in 1956. That's over 700 million pounds of Play-Doh. The deepest well. When scientists decided it would be a good idea to drill the deepest hole in the world, they knew there would be some unexpected discoveries. And since the Russians began this undertaking with the Kola Super Deep borehole back in 1970, there have been some pretty weird things found. The goal was for the Russians to drill straight into the mantle of the Earth, but they never did reach it. Nonetheless, over 50 years later, it's still the deepest hole on the planet. Out of all the unexpected discoveries, one of the coolest things found were the fossils roughly 21,000 feet below the surface. This is something that has not been discussed a lot in popular media or science magazines, but it's 100% true. The biggest question is, how could there be fossils in granite that deep underground? They were fossils of microplankton 4 miles beneath the surface of the Earth. Just what exactly is living down there, and what other larger fossils might we find? Unexpected painting. In 1991, a lady was shopping in a San Bernardino thrift store. It was an ordinary day. She was looking for a present for her friend, and she stumbled upon a huge canvas covered in drips and splatters of paint. She thought it was ugly, but she paid for it anyway. She paid a whopping $5. When she showed it to her friend also thought it was ugly. Her friend also couldn't fit the enormous canvas into her home, so the painting was set up at a garage sale. It just so happened that an art teacher stumbled upon the garage sale and recognized the painting as a Jackson Pollock. As it turns out, the painting was likely done by an abstract expressionist master, and rather than trying to get rid of the painting at a garage sale for $5, the woman who originally bought it is now asking $50 million for the painting. She stumbled upon the unexpected discovery of a lifetime, though it is worth mentioning that the New York Times reported the painting has yet to be 100% verified. The fish with hands. Evolution is a little confusing. Where did our hands come from? Why do birds have wings and we don't? And what in the name of all that is good in the world is a jellyfish doing even existing? It's all very strange. But in any case, a recent discovery has unexpectedly showed one of the closest points scientists have ever come to seeing a vertebrate evolving fingers from fins. The fossil is about 375 million years old. It's also a fish, but what's truly exciting about this new fossil is that its fins have bones comparable to the ones that make up our 5 digits. This is leading scientific professionals to believe that human beings, bats, and of course monkeys evolved fingers even before leaving the water. This incredible find would mean that the bones inside of a fish's fins began to form something similar to hands even before they managed to crawl out onto the mud. If thinking about this freaks your mind, you're not alone. The oldest winery ever. If you enjoy sitting on the sofa on a Friday night with a nice glass of wine and maybe a book, you will appreciate this next discovery. In the country of Lebanon, which thousands of years ago was the center of the Phoenician Empire, researchers have stumbled upon the oldest winery in the entire country. That makes it the first place where wine was properly made in Phoenicia 2,600 years ago. What's really unexpected is how similar the winemaking process was back then to how it is now. The remains were pretty badly destroyed, but scientists were still able to see how the winery operated. And yes, people stomped on the grapes with their bare feet, and the liquid then flowed into a 1,200-gallon plaster basin. Wine has not changed much in nearly 3,000 years. A researcher from the American University of Beirut told National Geographic that wine was an extremely important trading item for the Phoenicians. Their wine was favored all across the Mediterranean and even in ancient Egypt. This old winery, which was discovered in Tel El Barak, is where it all started. Which of these random discoveries is the most interesting in your opinion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and thanks for watching. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and don't forget to come back for another amazing video. Would you join a space mission to the moon if it meant you'd never go anywhere on vacation again for the rest of your life?